Gustavo Neri with AB Boxing News, sponsored by RX Water, here with the great Michael Buffer, live in Maryland. How's everything, Michael?
Everything's good. What a perfect day, huh?
Yeah, perfect day.
Yeah.
It's about time the East Coast had actually good weather. It's been cold, raining, snowing. Oh, my God, it's been brutal. But, Michael, we just witnessed a great weigh-ins. Devon Haney, 20 years old.
21 and 0, 20 years old. I mean, just turned 20 too. And you look at him, and everything I've been told, sometimes you look at these young fighters and you feel some greatness. You know, the potential there. And he's already got the WBC international title, defending that. The WBA vacant title, international, is on the line. So I think he's a fighter that we're going to see a lot of over the next maybe 10 years. Yeah.
It's so surprising because at 20 years old, I remember when I was 20, I used to party, do the wrong
I
things.
didn't know where the front door was. These guys, it's amazing.
For him to live in Las Vegas, especially in the Strip, where it could be a 20-year-old's kryptonite, and for him to do the opposite and work hard and stay disciplined, stay dedicated, like that shows a lot of character from Devon Haney's side, and for him to get the
And his family. I mean, it shows that he's got a good family, good support team, and good people around him. And I'm looking forward to see him in the main event tomorrow night.
weight class where one Vasily Lomachenko dominated.
Right now, a red-hot weight class. You got Mikey, you got Lomachenko. I mean, you're talking about two of the best, probably. Lomachenko might be the best fighter in the world, and Mikey Garcia at lightweight is definitely in the top 5. So, he's going to have to shine to get up there and be with those guys. But it's boxing. Could be a future star here.
Next week after this show, we're headed out to New York. June 1st, Anthony Joshua invades New York for the first time. What's the impact of Anthony Joshua coming to the Garden, knowing that there's been a lot of historic events, fighters invading the Garden? Like, what do you rank Joshua's invasion to America and New York?
It's going to be a very successful trip. They expect it to be a sellout. They got only a few seats left, I understand, at this point. It already set the record for the most, the amount of money spent on the gate at Madison Square Garden. And you got to remember this: when a fighter is the main event in the big room at Madison Square Garden, not only is he the star, the venue itself. It's the mecca of boxing, the greatest building for sports and entertainment in the history of the world, after the Coliseum of Rome, right? And it's very exciting. There's just something magical when you see a fighter make his entrance to the ring, through these years. Recently it's been Miguel Cotto, and we've seen Holyfield and Lennox fight there when they fought each other. And going back before that, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis. It's just a legendary place for heavyweight boxing, so I'm looking forward to it.
If all goes well for Joshua, passes test with a hard-graded Andy Ruiz. Wilder just completed his mission. He got a highlight reel knockout. Just that magnitude of the fight, so big. People are asking for it. They're demanding this. We're going to go a little bit of wrestling terms here. That magnitude of this fight, Joshua Wilder, how do you compare that to any dream wrestling match? Like, when I think about that match, I'm thinking maybe Rock, Shawn Michaels, a dream match that maybe didn't happen.
Like a wrestling fan, I can tell. Some great guys. Here's the thing. What we all really want to see is that one title, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. It's a magical title, and you have an A side and a B side. I mean, based on the kind of numbers that Wilder just had at the gate, with an announced attendance of 13,100. Joshua's probably going to have 24,000 at Madison Square Garden. He's fought in front of 90,000 at Wembley. I mean, he's a draw. He's a power at the box office, and Wilder is a power in the ring, but it's still, I don't understand why it's still not converting to that draw when it comes to selling tickets. But man, that knockout was unbelievable. He's a devastating puncher, and obviously what's he got, 41, 0-1 with 40 knockouts, Yeah.
39, was it?
39 going in. He's 40. Yeah.
First one was a decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
39. Wow. That's interesting. Wilder. Yeah.
A lot of KOs.
Yeah, a lot of.
Wilder, he has one line that I heard him say last. He said, knockouts are like touchdowns and home runs. That's what sells the tickets, and he's right. So we want to see that build up, but I would love to see within hopefully 18 months that we would have an undisputed world heavyweight champion.
How surprised are you to see Pacquiao still in the game? Last time we talked about Pacquiao was
And
Broner.
and still looking good too. Yeah.
Good against Broner. Now he's going against maybe a comeback year for Thurman, inactive. Is that realistically a good fight stylistically for you? Would you like to see that fight?
Yeah, it's absolutely a good fight. I mean, if I was a civilian, I'd sit at home and buy that on pay-per-view, no doubt about it. You're talking about a Hall of Fame legend at age, is Manny 39 or 40 now? 40. I mean, always fit, always in great shape. And Keith, is a world-class professional fighter that knows what he's all about. It's a good matchup.
Do you feel like it's a passing of a torch, just like Pacquiao? Before he became the Pacquiao he is today, he needed the name, a legendary name, or pay-per-view name like Oscar De La Hoya. He dismantled him 2008. Thurman beats Pacquiao. Is that the same? In other words, is that the name that he needs to become Thurman times 3?
Yeah, I mean, that's listen. Both guys are going out there to win the fight. Keith doesn't even dream that he's not going to win the fight. So I mean, you're going to see two guys that are focused, that are fit, and that want to go. Like right now, for Manny, even though he's a 800-time world champion, I mean, he still wants to have another world title. He still wants to, he wants to be, just win every fight, and that's the way he looks at it. So we're going to see, I think, a good fight. Keith, wants to be recognized as the guy that maybe put Manny into retirement. I mean, this is what we're looking at.
Lastly, out of boxing, you mentioned wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. Reactions, AEW on TNT. It's the last time a wrestling promotion's been on TNT is
WCW.
WCW.
A world that I'm not that familiar with anymore. Remember, I did 7 years with WCW.
But it's
I got to tell you something, and as a fan, I'm sure you'll know what I'm saying is true. They're just some of the best athletes you'll ever see in the world. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's sports and entertainment for them, and it's not some joke to them the way they look at it, the kind of condition they're in, the things they do. And when you see guys jumping off, 20-foot ladders, and they're amazing. They train every day. You'll see them on Raw. And then during the week, they're doing 3 or 4 more events in other cities, and come back and, once a month do a pay-per-view show. And they don't call them superstars for nothing. They're fantastic.
So it's good that they're, and I know you haven't been in the wrestling game, but it's good that there's competition, in other words.
Still tune in on Monday night once in a while. I got to check out the guys. I love watching this sport. It really is fantastic.
Thank you for your time. Michael Buffer, Gustavo Neri, AB Boxing News, live in Maryland. Thank you.
All right, man.
Mr. Buffer.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, man.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you.